Beautiful Igbos, I'm still appealing to our conscience. Thanks for all your comments on my videos. It's really helping us to decipher the truth, which will eventually make us free. Before the coming of the Christian missionaries, our forefathers knew that there was a supernatural being somewhere who created everything that existed. It is so because God registers his presence in the heart of every human being that he created. Our forefathers also believed that there was a spirit in the soil that helped their crops to grow. So they needed a meeting point with this spirit to worship and appreciate it. That was how, or that is how, the Allah deity came into existence. They went further to create a structure whereby some group of individuals would dedicate their life to the services of these shrines. But none could in the community because of the conditions. So they resorted to buying slaves. They bought slaves and saddled them with this responsibility. And that is one of the ways Osu came into existence. Note, no human being took his or herself to the slave market to be sold into slavery. And that makes Osu foundation very wrong and evil. I read in a book written by Adolphus Ekejuba titled Love and Stigma, the Outcast System. He said as an eyewitness that Osus were smelly, that they didn't have their bed or shave their hairs frequently, and that they looked very unkempt. Now, for those of you who believe that they willingly dedicated their services to the deities, no human being will willingly subject himself to such condition, let alone pledge the loyalty of the unborn generation. Our forefathers lied. They were threatened to take the oath of allegiance or die. In all that I've said so far, neither God who created heavens on earth or the deities they created themselves instructed them to create the structure. They created the structure. They instituted Osu, Ohu, and Ume caste system. Our forefathers didn't understand anything that was extreme in nature. That was why twin babies were seen as abominations and dumped into the evil forest to die. Albinos were seen as demons. Obviously, we are dark-skinned and they were extremely light-skinned. So they are demons. Leprosy patients were dumped in the evil forest to also die because they couldn't understand how someone's fingers and toes would be falling off. It was an incurable disease, so it was a curse from the gods. A tree falling at the village square was also seen as evil. Extreme rain or sunshine was a calamity. The gods were angry. Some women had 10 to 15 children and they all died. Our forefathers tagged them Obanje. They lived in fear out of ignorance. So they continued to cleanse the land with blood. When it seemed like animal blood was not effective, they stepped up to human blood. So they went to buy more slaves for cleansing the land. And that is how the Umes came into existence. Our forefathers didn't know anything like natural disaster, but you and I know. We know that there are longer days and longer nights. We know that extreme rain or sunshine is not any calamity, is not an issue. The gods are not angry with us. Since we got to know about genotype and rhesus, Ogbanje children no longer exist. We know that the minerals in the soil make the crops to grow. We also know about fertilizers. We can reverse it. We can move forward. It is not a decay of tradition and culture like some people make it to be. Our forefathers mystified everything out of ignorance. Okay, let me shock you with a story. In my place where I came from, there is this title that is given to a man, an individual at a particular time. And this individual, before you sit on that throne, the person's funeral rites will be fully performed. This means that once the person dies, he is buried without ceremonies. So it got to a point where a family's father or the head of their family was chosen to be the osere. And the family said they will not perform the burial rites of their father when he's still alive. The community warned them about the calamity. They talked about how our forefathers instituted it and they did a lot. We met it like that. It has to be so. And the family insisted. They allowed them. The man was crowned. He sat on the throne without any rituals before and after the coronation to appease the gods. The man lived. He reigned normally and died at the fullness of time. And since then, it's been like that. Our forefathers were ignorant. They created a system for themselves. I do not blame them. But we are in the 21st century. Let us create our own system. It is not the decay of tradition and culture, like I have said before. It means that we have realized that every human being is created equally. In all that our forefathers left behind, what have we achieved from them? That is why the Western world see us as people living in the bush. It's not like we don't have electricity, ride in cars, fly planes, and have tarred roads. It's in our character, it's in our attitude. The way we behave towards each other makes us appear like we still live in 700 to 800 years ago. I'm appealing to us. Let us discard Osu, Ohu, and Umeka system, and no evil will befall us.